Did you learn anything interesting? Yeah, good.
Everybody's got a story.
Right.
That's true.
Absolutely. And we'll kind of look at, as we go on a little bit later, we're going to talk about a little bit more about that story, the story we're going to tell, the story we want to convey to people. It's just interesting to be able to just get to meet with people, I think, and really kind of learn a little bit about what they do, what makes them tick and stuff. Well, guess what? In selling, that's a big piece of it all. To get to know them a little bit and know what makes them tick, then you can decide whether what you have to offer, first of all, whether it's even a good fit or not. And if it is, and only if it is, then you can kind of help them decide if it makes sense to go for it right now. That's what we're looking at. So another one, why do I do this? Another, Michelle, a neat lady who got into the world of selling again, kind of by accident. She was in retail sales. And I met her when I was working with a client. We did a lot of event stuff. So we'd go to events and we would get people in, we'd go to the home shows or stuff like that, and then sell products out. Well, coming from a retail management, some of you guys have done retail work before, some of you have. To make that jump, to be able to go out to a home show and every stranger that walks by, you pull them in and you give them your little pitch and sell them stuff. That's a big shift. She had kind of a hard time at it first, and then became really, really good at it. And some of the lessons we learned when we really worked on was to listen. Kind of like the conversation we were just having there. Listen to what you're saying. Find out what makes it tick. Find out what's important to you. First of all, because it's a really cool part. Second of all, because you might get it out. Open to support and willing to change. When you have an attitude that says, you know what, I know how to do it, and I'm not open to anything. Shelley could probably attest to this, to someone she knows who has had a little bit of a problem with that at one point, at least in the last little while. But it was working on, yeah. And then attitude is everything. If you come out with a positive attitude, enthusiastic, happy, confident attitude, the whole world changes. We've seen some of that before too. In Rega, we had we had a great time on the mall in Portland.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that. So why do people buy? I think that's kind of. So one thing I want you to remember in the meeting is that we buy what we want, not what we need. Think about that for a minute. Every sales model that you ever look at, people teach you how to do. One of the big steps in there is needs analysis. Finding out what the needs are. Well, you know what? Think about it. Is there anybody here who can think of anything that they absolutely need nowadays?
Car, house.
That you don't have?
Food.
What do you don't have? All of our basic needs are pretty much almost guaranteed. I mean, some people have a hard time with it, but for the most part, it's not like people are going around hungry or that very many. Some of them are. Or, basic needs are pretty standard. So what we buy when we go out, we're not buying what we need, we're buying what we want. No one likes to be sold. Everyone likes to buy. Big show from when you read Gittimer book, he talks about that a lot. That's a big thing. No one likes to be sold, everyone likes to buy. And all things being equal, people are going to do business with and refer business to those they know, like, and trust. So we put all those things together and we put it all together. So some of the basic ideas of what we want to look at, how do we get to that point where we know, like, and trust us, where we can have those kind of breakthrough moments and actually help people to make a move to buy what we want. The number one skill in sales, to me, and it's not even close, is listening. We had that conversation there. How much real listening did you do? How present were you? Especially the first person to talk, or the second person to talk, when you're listening. You're listening. How much are you thinking about what you're going to say instead of listening to what you're saying? Anybody run into that problem occasionally? Pretty common. So some of the skills that we really want to learn about listening, and we all have been taught this, and there's books about it and everything, so just a little kind of bit about it. Go back to the beginning, 20-some years ago, my very first sales job. RainSoft, just up the road. Really good place to learn how to just sell. And Frank, who's my trainer there, and he said, yeah, 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. So let's think about that. We're in, not only in sales, but in our general world. What kind of change would that make in the world in general, or at least in our relationships, if we took that on and we listened twice as much as we talked? So some of the things you want to pay attention to and listen, be present. Again, be in the moment, pay attention. Listen to what they're saying, don't be thinking about what you're going to say next. Listen to what they have to say. I was going to say something about phones, and actually I was going to steal again from Jeffrey Gitomer, Heather's reading a book, if you guys have heard of him, great sales guy. He always says in his seminars, and I steal it from him, that go ahead and leave your phones on, because most of the time they're going to call for business, and if someone calls and wants to buy something from you, I want you to take the call. So listen, not what you're listening. Be interested. That's a big part of it as well. Don't go in there just to have to do it because you have to. Genuinely be interested in people and new things, and I guarantee that there's no one anywhere that you can come in contact with. But if you have a conversation with them, you can't learn something about it and become better off because of that. And in turn, make them better off as well. Listen with more in your ears. We all probably know the numbers on that. Only 7% of communication is the words. The rest of it, tone, inflection, body language, you name it, you gotta pay attention to that stuff. So the words are great, but pay attention to what else is going on. So you're interested in and give feedback. You're talking to someone. Let them know that you hear what they're saying. Have that interaction. Make it a conversation. Make all the difference in your work. So another piece of why people buy is that. Again, a really, really important part of this whole model is that, again, we buy what we want, not what we need. Buying decisions are made based on emotion. Almost always. We tend to try to sell based on logic. There's a big difference there. And what really happens is you buy what you want and you use an emotional reason to make that choice to buy, and then you back it up with logic. You justify it.
I think that applies to the complex B2B sales as well.
Absolutely. I think it applies to all. You have to have the technical, logical side of things, but there has to be an emotional reason why you make that decision. Absolutely. Some things in those cases where someone actually needs something and it's more of a transactional sale as opposed to a sale thing, a little bit different, but for the most part, absolutely. Anybody else have any input or any thought on that? So how do we add value, or how do we, sure, one question, how do we make that value statement so that we can get into that emotional state to make it do it? Features. Now, do know the difference between features, benefits, and then on real benefits. That's so. So the feature. Let's take a car for example. Features are stuff, right? And a real basic. The feature of that car is the bumper. Okay? It's a bumper. It's not good. It's not bad. It's a bumper. Anybody else? What do you sell? Give me a feature of something that you sell. Mortgage. We've got a couple of mortgage guys in here. Tell me what's a feature of the mortgage business?
Skip a payment.
Okay, perfect. Interest rate. Terms. Here's a million. Kip, your world, you got features in your world, not crazy. What's a feature that you offer?
Warranty. After hours service at the same rate.
Does commercial fire alarms close enough? Brody, you're in a nutrition business. What's a feature of what you guys do?
Refer program.
Okay, perfect. And then the nutritional stuff is pretty important too. Andy, you're in the nutritional side of things as well. What kind of just tell me a feature of something.
Better gut health.
Okay, perfect. Well, and that might move to the next one actually, which is the benefit. So the feature of the car is the bumper. Benefit of the bumper is lessens the impact when you get in an accident. Right? So we're talking about the lower interest rate being a feature, what's the benefit?
More money in their pocket.
Yeah, pay less. Yeah, absolutely. The referral program, right? What's the benefit of that?
Free product to
Get free product. Sure. See where we're going with this? Can you put something together with all what you do? No. You
Yeah, audiobooks.
talking audiobooks.
Right.
Benefit of that?
Less time having to read.
Perfect.
Somebody will read it to you.
Okay, so now we're getting there. So absolutely. Traffic.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So those are all benefits. So now, a lot of times when you talk about sales training, it stops at this point. Features and benefits. I want to take you to the next step, which is the real benefit. And that's where you kind of find that emotional piece that really matters. So you got a car, and the bumper reduces the damage. Okay, what does that mean? Why do I care about that? Well, I care about that because when I'm driving down the street, I got my family in the car, I can feel secure that if something does happen, we're going to be okay. That feeling of security, that's the real benefit. So we'll go to the mortgage thing, the lower interest rate. What's the real benefit of that? Why do you care about that?
You've got a home. You've seen it at home.
Absolutely. Or if you're saving money, you can, maybe you want to use that money.
Giving less money away.
Right, or what you're going to use that money for. I can send my kid to piano lessons now because I got the money. That's where the value comes into it. We talked about the, okay, you get free product. Great. What does that mean? $100 a month I can go and, again, take my Peggy out to a real nice day. Whatever it is. That's why people buy. They don't buy because it reduces the impact in a car crash. They buy because it makes them feel safe. Does that make sense to everybody? It's kind of a subtle, but not really subtle difference. It's a really, really important difference, distinction. A lot of people don't talk about it. So, cars bump. That means is that if you're in an accident, reduce the damage. What that really means is you can feel secure, your family's going to go through something. Another, as we're looking at people who are valuable and not through the process. Mary Kay Ash. A number of people in here in the direct selling. Familiar with who Mary Kay Ash is? Even if you're not direct selling, you know who she is. She's made a pretty significant difference in the world in general, I think. She really changed the model. She went from, again, from someone who really didn't have a whole lot of anything, pissed off at the system, became an entrepreneur for all kinds of different reasons, and became pretty darn successful. Persistent, didn't let things get in her way, had a pretty big impact on a lot of people, I think. Even the ones who, you guys, it seems to me that she had the pink Cadillac that she gave away. What I'm finding now is most direct selling companies now, they've moved away from Cadillac and run to Lexus. So, the ones in this, yeah, so there's lots of Lexus. But it's the same thing. This kind of came up quicker than I expected. So I was going to put together a break-in. I'm going to go a little bit further before we get. That's kind of, seems like we just took one, so maybe I'm going more quickly than I anticipated. So thank you. So now let's talk about attitude. Because attitude, when it comes to selling, is the key to really being okay and being successful. And we look at it in a lot of different ways. You look at it from the attitude of how do I feel in general and how do I feel about selling. When we go back to the surveys, what kind of attitude did we in general have about selling? Salesmen.
Not very good.
Right. So the people that we're going to talk to in the world, what kind of attitude do they have about selling and sales?
Probably the same.
Pretty negative.
Absolutely. And so if we come across it, the first thing we talk to people about is let them know that we're in sales and that we're trying to sell them something, it's going to happen. Yep, we're not gonna listen to a thing that word you say. So, again, always remember, it's not about you, it's about them. So that attitude's gotta do the same thing. You might be seeing a little bit of a theme. So attitude, what do we got? So there's a bunch of different pieces of attitude that I think are important. Confidence is a big one. Abundance, we'll think about that. Gratitude and service. That's what I want to talk about tonight. Of course, there's many more, but these are, I think, some pretty important pieces to the sales world that don't always come into the conversation when we talk about selling. So, confident. Confident people are pretty magnetic, don't you agree? Now, there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. And we know that. So you want to be confident, you don't want to be arrogant. But you do, confidence is the key. So it comes from many sources. Your environment, that could be all kinds of different things. The people that you surround yourself with, the information that when you're in your car, what are you listening to? Zig Ziglar, I'll quote him a lot, he's my favorite. He calls it automobile university. How much time do we spend in our car? Heck, just today, I've heard people say as much as 2 hours just to come to this. I can't tell you how much I thank you for that. So he says you can, if you just do some kind of a learning in your car, books on CDs, what Don has at the Talking Books Plus, you can get the equivalent of a college education in just a few years. Just by spending that time instead of listening to the music or the talk radio or the politics or whatever, sports or whatever you're listening to, use it to educate yourself. Use it as a university. Always be learning. That'll help your attitude as well. Make sure that you're always reading stuff. You're always talking to people who are with you. You're always coming to seminars. And then make sure you pick your mentors and your coaches, and make sure you're really careful of who you pick as those mentors and coaches. But pick people who you respect and who have done what you want to do, and ask them for help. And follow their lead and listen to what they have to say. Change your confident attitude, because once you become more knowledgeable and you practice it, you made some little steps, and confidence just naturally comes. So confidence versus arrogance, big difference there. Enthusiasm is a big piece of confidence as well. And when you're confident, you can be enthusiastic. It's hard to be enthusiastic about something without confidence. It's really hard to do without it. So that, now, enthusiasm versus hype. What's the difference, right? You know what I'm talking about? Someone who's enthusiastic is when you hear Cody talk about his Thrive stuff. You hear Amanda talk about what Plex is for, or any number of people in this room. Hype is Billy Mays on the TV selling the latest soap product. That gets seen through really quickly and doesn't do it for very long. So enthusiasm. Abundance. Abundance is a piece, so we want to look at abundance versus scarcity. It's a mindset. It's sometimes a hard one to overcome. We want to look at it in all areas of your life. Money, of course, and financial side of things, but where else can the abundance come from? What other kind of abundance do you like, or do we really look for in our life that makes our attitude towards everything better? What?
Time.
Time. What else? Relationships, absolutely. All kinds of things.
Health, fitness.
Health, fitness, yeah, exactly. So we're in our track and said, now how do we make that shift from abundance or from scarcity to abundance? Well, goals are a really good way to do it. Start with it. Have a really good idea of what you want to do. Spend some time deciding what you want and how you want to go about it. Visualization. Lots of science behind this. Lots of theories and lots of studies. I go back to sports on visualization. There's two that always come to mind. Jack Nicklaus, anybody familiar with the guy? Even if you don't play golf, you know Jack Nicklaus is probably the best golfer of all time. And for a while I thought he wasn't going to be, but now I think he is. Except Bill. Okay, Bill went through it. He said that when he went to the Masters, he played every round twice. morning before he got up, he played every single hole in his mind before he even went out on the course. How many times did he win it though?
6. That's just the Masters.
No, I mean, exactly, right, no, exactly. And 16 majors? 18?
I
Something like
think it's
that.
18. It's 18.
18.
Tiger has
Tiger has
18.
Anyway, still, it's not an accident. Michael Jordan. Have you heard of Michael Jordan? Best basketball player ever played the game, in my mind. How many free throws did he shoot without even going on the court? Thousands in his mind. Being the better players. So visualization. I don't know. Small accomplishments. When you set those goals, you got pretty big, lofty goals. Have some big targets along the way that are going to make you feel good about where you're going. Help you to bring that abundance, see the greatness that's coming into your life. And then celebrate your victories. Nothing makes you feel better and more abundant than actually celebrate when you make some victories. And I learned some pretty valuable lessons about that over the last few months myself. About it doesn't have to look like what you originally thought it was. You know, when you get done, celebrate. It's a win. And it's great. One of the things we're doing is we're taking money as a donation for a really cool organization Kip and I ran across. Not by accident, but because we allowed things to happen. So we were open to it, and then we were able to really celebrate some pretty big victories. Gratitude. I think this is as important as anything, if not the most important. So what are you grateful for? Anybody here got something to offer? I'm grateful for every single one of you guys taking the time to come and do this, trusting me and loving me. So thank you for you really can. You want to make something big happen in your life? Share something with someone and say thank you, and then offer thanks. So gratitude that you have that you don't express to someone is like wrapping a present and never giving it away. Heard that quote, I loved it. So think about that. When's the last time you said thank you to someone that you were grateful? And the more you're grateful, guess what? The more things you have to be grateful for. Pete Carroll, sports analogy, when he was coaching at USC, I saw him on 60 Minutes. I never was a real big fan before that, but I saw this program and he went out and he did some pretty amazing things. He went down into the gang neighborhoods in LA and worked with these gang kids. And actually gave him his personal cell phone number, invited him to come out and practice. And just really did amazing things. Well, so he's in this interview with the 60 Minutes guy. And 60 Minutes guy says, "You always look like you're like the happiest guy in the world, like everything's great." He says, "Well, of course. I walk around all day thinking something wonderful is about to happen. How would that change your world?" And then service. I'm a big believer that service is the key. And that's the Reebok song. My life's philosophy, again, comes from Zig Ziglar. You can get anything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want. And I'll take a step further, that's what he says. And I think that, in fact, the only way you can get what you want is to help those people get it. That's selling in a nutshell. Help enough other people get what they want. Service. So we set our goals. One time, so we talk about a lot of different things. One of the things we talk about in the goals is what kind of goal you have for giving back. How can you be of service? What can you do for the community? Want to bring great things into your life? Do something for someone with no expectation of anything in return. It's amazing what happens. We've experienced that a couple times. So let's check your attitude. How's your attitude towards sales? I've asked this question a couple times. What do you think? Is it any different at all? You have a little bit of a different idea, or you have a different mindset, kind of what we're doing and how that might happen? So the keys to changing the attitudes about sales, I operate from a place, especially in business, but in life, of unquestionable honor and integrity. Really, really add value. Don't focus on your commission or what you're gonna get out of it. Focus on it because it's not all about you. It's not about you at all, right? Study those who've done it right. Read what they've done, how they've done it. And choose your mentors carefully. It can make a big difference in that. Those are the kind of things that really help to change your attitude. Chris Gardner, you may be familiar with him. There's a movie that Pursuit of Happiness. See it? Pretty good movie, isn't it? This dude, again, someone who came from absolutely nothing. Homeless, abusive stepfather, went to Merrill Lynch, from a Bear Stearns. And then I read a book about it, made a movie about it. All because he had the attitude he wanted to just go big. Okay, so let's take a quick break, 10, 15 minutes. What I want you to do is,
Can you go back to the other slide while we take a break?
yeah.
Oh, right. Thank you.
So what I want you to do on this break, to now kind of that conversation, I want you to kind of continue those conversations